Boom, boom. 5 poison counters. Halfway dead already. We play a big boy, Tyranny Rex. Let's say we bash one of these persons here for Toxic 4. 5 poison. Hi, it's Vex. And today we have another commander deck from Phyrexia All-Be-One. And finally, on theme, we are doing a Toxic Poison Commander deck tech. That's right, this is the face card of your Commander Precon, except for I didn't buy the Precon, I just made my own deck, which I think is a cool way to do things. Ixhel, Scion of Atraxa. 1 white, black, green, so Abzan. Legendary creature, Phyrexian Angel. We've seen that one before, right? Flying, Vigilance, Toxic 2. So what Toxic does is, if this deals damage to a player, they get 2 poison counters, and they also take the damage. But maximum 2 poison counters no matter the power of the creature. So Ixhel is a 2/5. And also has Corrupted. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent who has 3 or more poison counters exile the top card of their library face down. You may look at it and play those cards for as long as they remain exiled, and you may spend mana as though it's mana of any color to cast those spells. So essentially, what Ixhel wants you to do is attack, give them 2 poison. So essentially, we have these poison counters. Don't forget to have your counters right there. Give them 2 poison. You know, maybe untap. Well, it's Vigilant. I don't know why I tapped it. Attack again, give another 2 poison. Once they're 2 poisoned up, twice, 4 poison. They are corrupted, but you only need 3 to be corrupted. They are corrupted, meaning that you exile top card of their deck, and they can play it for as long as you have it. And also, you could play it even without Ixhel on the battlefield because it just gives the ability to the card. You may look at it and play those cards as long as they remain exiled. So it's really cool. You could use opponent's stuff, which I love to do. You have no idea how much I love to just attack, give them poison, and then take their stuff. So you get do 2 cool things with this commander. Now, usually, sometimes your main goal is to get them corrupted, use the opponent's stuff against them, and then, win from there, regular damage, poison damage. However, this deck, of course, on theme, we go for the heavy poison theme. We want to get them corrupted fast, and then kill them with poison. 10 poison means they're dead. With that theme in mind, let's get right into the deck tech. Deck tech concentrates heavily on the poison mechanic, Infect, and Toxic with Corrupted as well. And before we get into the deck tech formally, don't forget to have your tokens. So we have a bunch of tokens that have, Infect, Toxic, of course, treasures, and some copies. So don't forget to have your tokens. I have deck lists in the description below, along with all my cool affiliate links and all that jazz to help support the channel. All right, let's get into the deck tech. Starting off with the Toxic creatures. These are the Toxic 1 creatures. We have more Toxic creatures, but obviously they don't fit on this playmat all the way. We do have the secondary commander that came from the commander deck. Vishgaz, the Doom Hive, 2 Abzan, Phyrexian Insect, Menace, Toxic 1, which is really good. The Monache really helps out. When it ETBs, create 3 Might tokens. Definitely have those tokens. They are 1/1 creatures with Toxic 1. They can't block. And then Vishgaz gets +1/+1 for each poison counter your opponents have. So it gets really big, has Menace, so it's really evasive, so really good. And comes with 3 little dudes that can deal some toxic damage. So it's really good as a secondary commander. You can swap them out. That's what the Precon does, so definitely recommend you do that. Then we have the other Toxic 1 dudes right here. Just look them out at the same time. Skrelv, Defector Might, White, Legend Artifact Creature, Phyrexian Might. So it's essentially a Might. It's a 1/1 with Toxic 1 that can't block. Except for it has a cool part. Phyrexian White, tap. So you pay with a white or 2 life. Choose a color. Another target creature you control gains Toxic 1 and hexproof from that color until end of turn. It can't be blocked by creatures of that color. So if you give a creature with Toxic 1, another Toxic 1, it essentially has Toxic 2. So remember that they do stack, which is really cool. Give something protection. Maybe you could tap this, give this, this Pestilent Siphoner protection. Flying, Toxic 1. They could do 2 poison counters right there. Or you can give this Blight Belly Rat protection. Toxic 1. And when it dies, Proliferate. And Proliferate is another sub-theme of the deck. I didn't go over that in the introduction, but essentially Proliferate is a way to increase poison counters without doing damage. We want to end the game by proliferating and killing our opponents that way too. So you have these guys in 10 attack, double Toxic with Skrull. Skrull is really good, not on defense because he can't block, but really good on offense to make your dudes unblockable. So it's really cool there. And then these dudes are very low mana value, 1, 2, 2, 2. Mirror Convert is also a mana dork. You know, Toxic 1, pay 2 life, add 1 mana of any color. Then we have the higher mana value dudes with Toxic 1. Let's see, a Bloated Contaminator. So I love this card. 2 no green. Trample. So if you can trample over something, you deal that toxic damage. And when it deals combat damage to a player, Proliferate, you deal the Toxic 1. This isn't a trigger. It just happens. So players dealt combat damage by creature also get a poison counter. It's different than Poisonous before, because Poisonous on Future Sight cards or Time Spell cards was a trigger. This, you instantaneously get the counter, and then you can proliferate the counter. So you could, if you deal trample damage, you might be able to get 2 counters. So essentially pseudo toxic 2 if you deal damage. And then Contaminated Grafter for green. Trample Toxic 1. I love that. Trample Toxic 1, very good. Big dude. Then when 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to 1 or more players, Proliferate. Now, because of the 1 or more and another 1 or more, it only proliferates once, not once for each player. So just remember that. And it also has a corrupted thing, so it's much better than the Bloated Contaminator there. Much more expensive, as in cost-wise. But at the beginning of your end step, if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, draw a card, then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Has a little mini corrupted benefit right there. Another thing I didn't mention in the beginning of the deck tech is, because our commander Ixhel has the word corrupted, or the mechanic, corrupted mechanic on there, it kind of makes us want to spread out our poison counters and try to get everybody corrupted as fast as possible, because once you corrupt the other 3 players, it's essentially drawing 3 cards a turn. So I think that's really neat how they made this a little different than trying to go tall and kill 1 player with poison. Corrupted makes you want to go wide. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to go wide if there's a really big threat. You can just keep attacking the same player, but corrupted, just once you go wide so you can gain more value. Another thing I didn't mention in the beginning is the instant you reveal this commander, that's why I have this playmat, Why So Salty, is that somehow people don't like to allow you to do alternate win conditions. This commander isn't as dangerous as other commanders, but they see the toxic, they see the poison, they get afraid. So just be aware that you might be the bad guy of the pod with this commander. And I don't know why Wizards built this as a precon commander. Good luck with those new players that show up with this commander and get destroyed. But it is what it is. We do have a more pumped up version with more expensive cards. So we can tangle a little harder than the precon. Anyways, moving on, we have Toxic more. So Toxic 2, 3, 3, and Toxic 4, which is really cool. So let's actually go to the Toxic 4 right here. Tyrannus Rex. 4 green, 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 so 7 mana value. Can't be countered, which applies a little bit in Commander, not too much. Trample, Ward 4, Haste, and Toxic 4. So, boom, you play this for 7 mana, and somebody might have, 6 poison counters, surprise them, attack them, has Ward 4, very hard to kill, can't be countered, trample, boom. So this is a big toxic beefcake. We have our Necrogen Rot Priest, 2 black, green, toxic 2. And then whenever a creature you control with toxic deals combat damage to a player, that player gets an additional poison counter. So pseudo, it's like better than toxic 3. If this creature deals damage to a player, they get 3 poison counters because you get the trigger as well. Then, oops, it has an activated ability on top of that. Target creature you control with toxic gains death touch until end turn. So basically, if somebody blocks it, you can give something death touch and boom, kill something. Okay, next 2 creatures here. Venomous Brutalizer, 2 green, green. Phyrexian Knight, I love the Knight part. I love the art actually, this looks pretty cool, right? Toxic 3, and then when ETBs, you pay 1 in green if you do proliferate. Not the best thing, but it is a 4/4, has toxic 3, so if it can connect 1 time, boom, you do 3 poison counters. We do have some lands that make things, or some cards and lands that make things unblockable. That will help out with this. And then we have Glissa's Retriever, 5 green, that's a mighty mana value. Haste, toxic 3, another haster, along with Tyrannus Rex. And it can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, so essentially little mini tokens can't really block it. So 6/6. It doesn't have trample, unfortunately, but it's pretty good. When it dies, exile it. If you do, return up to X target cards from your graveyard to your hand, where X is the number of opponents who have 3 or more poison counters. So essentially you get some more stuff if it dies. The last set of toxic cards are the token generators. In this set, the main token of the set are these Phyrexian Mites. So we like to generate these Phyrexian Mites. I believe the best token generator is the White Sun's Twilight, X white white. You gain X life, trinket text, of course. Create X of those mites, and then if X is 5 or more, destroy all other creatures. Do a full board wipe. Boom. You pay 7 mana, you get 5 mites, do a board wipe. It's pretty good. You can use those to attack, go 5 wide, just suicide some guys, get some poison. So a very good finisher there. This is the Hero of Bladehold card, corrupted, of course. Rivia Ivar, now the game gave her a legendary name. Bane of Bladehold, 2 white black, legendary creature, Phyrexian Knight. Battle Cry. I'm not sure, I think this is the only one that has the Battle Cry mechanic. When this attacks all other attacking creatures get +1/+0 on turn. At the beginning of combat in your turn, next time target creature would deal combat damage to 1 or more players this turn, prevent that damage. If damage is prevented this way, create that many little mite tokens. So at the beginning of your combat, you could choose maybe, I don't have a creature next to me. Let's say this Big Daddy Tyrannosaurus Rex. You can prevent the damage and make 8 little mites instead. But you have to target at the beginning of combat, not like in the middle of blockers or anything. So this is just on theme. This deck, sometimes I build deck with cards that are thematic. I do like this card because it's thematic, and I really like Hero to Bladehold, so I included it for fun. Then we have the land, the Mirrex, or just Mirrex by itself. Add one colorless. Add 1 mana of any color. Activate only if Mirrex ATB this turn. So it's a little 1-turn color fixer. And then 3 tap, make it a little mite. So it's a land that adds a color on ETBs, and then you can make some mites. So it's pretty neat there. And then Goliath Hatchery. Now this makes more than mites, bigger mites, I guess. 4 green. When ETBs, create 2 Phyrexian Beast tokens with Toxic 1. Then at the beginning of your upkeep, if opponent has 3 or more poison counters, choose a creature you control, then draw cards equal to the total toxic value. So essentially, you do have Toxic 1. If they're corrupted, beginning of turn, if you have Toxic 1 creature, draw 1 card. Or if you have a Toxic 4 creature like our Big Daddy Dinosaur, which I keep losing, right there, draw 4 cards. It's amazing. I couldn't have a poison themed deck without using the old school Infect cards, of course. Infect, I think, is a little bit better than Toxic. Toxic is a little more fair. Infect is right here. Let's actually read Infect creature. Plague Stinger. 1 black, flying Infect. And this creature deals damage in the form of -1/-1 counters, and to players in the form of poison counters. So essentially, you attack, and if it doesn't get blocked, they take 1 poison and no damage. So remember that. And then if you attack and somebody blocks the creature, they take no damage but get -1/-1 counter. That's how Infect works. Infect is pretty nasty because if you pump this up to a 10/10, you can one-shot somebody. So we've added the evasive or neat Infect creatures. The evasive one, Plague Stinger, Blight Mama, is an Infect creature that has Regenerate. So it's a 1/1, and if somebody blocks, you could regenerate it. They'll get a -1/-1 counter, so you can get them dead quicker. Plus, I like a little snake. Cool. Ixhel Rats. Actually like this card a lot. 1 black. Infect. And when ETBs, each player gets a poison counter, so it gets you 1 counter closer to their corrupted status. Phyrexian Crusader. 1 black as well. First strike, pro-red, pro-white, Infect. That pro-red, pro-white is very important because, you can attack the red player or the white player with impunity. Or if they're playing Boros, bam, good luck to them. You have Viridian Corruptor, 1 green, Infect. ETB, destroy target artifact. It's not like a Rex Sage artifact and enchantment, just artifact only. Except for it looks gorgeous with the watermark. I wish they had that watermark on the new cards, but they don't. Then you get the bigger fatties right here. Phyrexian Swarm Lord, 4 green, Infect, 4/4 Infect, so it deals 4 poison counters if it connects. Beginning of your upkeep, put a 1/1 green, create a 1/1 green creature insect token with Infect. For each, I almost forgot, for each poison counter your opponents have. So the more poison counters they have, the more dudes you make, the faster you get them dead. Now my absolute favorite infecting creature, Skithiryx, the Blight Dragon. 3 black, black. Flying Infect, so it's 4/4. Then you could pay black to give it haste. So if you pay 6 mana, boom, hit. I love hasty Infectors. Hit him, boom, surprise him. Double black, regenerate it. Keep him alive. They have a land that has Infect, Ink Moth Nexus. 1, and it becomes a 1/1 artifact creature token with flying and Infect. And it's still a land. So these are infecting creatures, help poison your opponents, get them dead. Another set of on-theme cards dealing with poison. Here we have, I'm going to get this card out of the way here. I put it on the side. Gef's Summons. 2 black, black. It's got Corrupted. That's why it's in this here. Return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then Corrupted. For each opponent who has 3 or more poison counters, as you cast this spell, put up to 1 target creature card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. So you can get up to 4 graveyards with Gef's Summons. This is much better than late game. But in the early game, even if no one's corrupted, you still get something back. So I think it's cool. It uses the sets mechanics. So we have that here. Here is where we can give poison counters away. We have, let's just go for the black cards first. Vraska's Fall, 2 black. Each person sacks a creature or planeswalker gets a poison counter. So that's simple. Three poison counters for 3 mana and makes them sack creatures. Then you have Phyresis Outbreak. 2 black, sorcery. Each opponent gets a poison counter. Then, I love this part. Each creature your opponents control get -1/-1 until end of turn for each poison counter its controller has. So all creatures automatically get -1/-1. You can kill opponents' mites or little soldier tokens. But the more poisonous they are, the more their board dies. So this is a very important card. I love this card. Then we have Infectious Inquiry. 2 and a black. Draw 2 cards. You lose 2 life. Each opponent gets a poison counter. I love that clean thing says each opponent gets a poison counter. I love it. It's so good. Okay. Then we have Norn's Decree, the good card. 2 and white. Whenever 1 or more creatures an opponent controls deal combat damage to you, that opponent gets a poison counter. So towards the late game, if they have 8 poison counters and then they attack you and deal damage to you, you just like, oh, I'll let the 1/1 through. They get a poison counter, and then they have 9 poison counters. So it's going to be very hard for them to kill you with this situation. And then also, we have second line, where a player attacks. If 1 or more players being attacked are poisoned, the attacking player draws a card. So essentially, it just makes makes you not the target because the value is that way, not this way. Commander players are notorious for trying to get value, not actually doing the right play. So this is a doubly good card for this situation. We enter the next part of the deck, the Proliferate theme. Just remember, our creatures are kind of tiny. There are big exceptions like Skithiryx or that big dragon. Big dragon, what are we talking about? Big dinosaur. Tyrannus Rex. I keep bringing this one up. However, once we get to mid-game, late game, our opponents might have more creatures than us. So we need to just proliferate up. Maybe they have 2 poison counters because they got hit by Ixhel once. Proliferate up to 3 to get the Corrupted. So these are the things that help us proliferate. We have the land, straightforward land, Karn's Bastion. 4 tap proliferate. Very easy right there. We have some creatures and planeswalkers that proliferate. We have Canker Bloom. I love this. This is so good. I love this card. 1 green. It's a 3/2. Even has really good power. Then you can sack it, choose 1, destroy our artifact enchantment, or proliferate. So it gives you options. So you can proliferate instant speed if this is on the battlefield. I really like that. Grateful Apparition. When it deals combat damage to a player, proliferate. Or planeswalker. It's flying, so evasive. This is one of the best proliferating machines ever. Evolution Sage. 2 and a green. Landfall proliferate. Then you have the Yawgmoth on theme. Phyrexian. Phyrexian from humans, that is relevant. But let's read down here. Black, discard a card, proliferate. Then you can sack creatures, -1, things, and draw cards. But proliferating is the main point of Yawgmoth. Yeah, Norn's Choir Master. I don't know why I say Master. These names are really getting hard to read nowadays. 3 white. Phyrexian Angel, another Phyrexian Angel, on theme, of course. Flying First Strike. When a commander you control ETBs or attacks, proliferate. Exactly what we want to do. ETB our commander, attack, proliferate. I love these when a commander or when your commander does this on other cards, it makes it feel more fair. Because if this is like ETB, Proliferate, or when this attacks Proliferate, it's too easy. So this is a cool card. Really like cards like that. Then we have Vraska, Betrayals, Sting. I don't have a regular version. All I have is this, wherever this full art one. But it is what it is. 4 black and a Phyrexian black completed. So you could pay 4 black and 2 life for a 4 loyalty Planeswalker, or 4 black for a 6 loyalty Planeswalker. And the cool part is 0 for 0. Draw a card, lose 1 life, Proliferate. That's insane. You could pay this for 5 mana, give 4 loyalty Planeswalker, Proliferate up your Planeswalker to 5, because it's technically a +1, and draw a card at the same time. Now, the next card does not technically have the word Proliferate, and doesn't technically proliferate, but it's one of the best counter machines ever. Vorinclex Monstrous Raider, 4 green, Trample Haste. It doubles your counters and halves their counters, rounded down for them. So if they put 1 counter on anything, they get 0. We put 1 counter on anything, we get 2, including poison counters. We'll have our other previous creatures that do proliferating right there. So we got these 8 plus 4 plus some more coming up. The non-creature proliferators, which I actually really like these cards here. Drowned Ichor, 1 in black. I love this removal spell. It's so clean. 1 black. Target creature gets -4/-1 until end of turn. Proliferate. Wow, they have made Proliferate so much cheaper than before. It's literally a 2-mana Doomblade most of the time, and then Proliferate. It's great, insane. Regrowth just got better. 1 green. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Permanent, not any card, but almost Regrowth. Proliferate. Wow, that's super cool. Get a land back, Proliferate. No problem. I like this new card. Expand the Sphere. 3 green. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. Put up to 2 land cards from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Any lands, not just basic. Rest on the bottom. If you put fewer than 2 lands onto the battlefield, proliferate each time equal to the difference. So if you use this just to pay 3 green, look at top 6 cards and just proliferate twice. Or look at top 6 card, put 2 lands, so it's kind of like a explosive vegetation. So it's like a hybrid there. Another explosive vegetation variant. I think it's really neat. Then we have the 2 artifacts. A new card, Glistening Sphere. 3 generic. ETB's tapped. When it enters the battlefield, proliferate. And then taps for any 1 color mana. Then if you're corrupted, or your opponent's corrupted, add 3 mana of any 1 color. Activate only if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters. So if any opponent corrupted, this becomes a 3 mana rock. Very, very good in this deck, on theme. Sword of Truth and Justice. I love that. It gives you protection from white and blue. 3 generic, 2 to equipped. When a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control, then proliferate. We don't do a lot of +1/+1 counters. We're mainly concentrated on the poison counter. But +1/+1 counter is cool because we work with Vorinclex and proliferate, so it gets your thing bigger. Next to standard fare, we have our removal package here. I forgot to put all these labels in here. Maybe I'll try to make it up for you next time. The removal package here, and we have our grand removal Praetor, Elish Norn Grand Cenobite. 5 white, just on theme. It's a Praetor, why not? Creatures your opponents control get -2/-2 and buffs your creatures. It has vigilance, why not? And then we had the previous removal that we've seen before, doubling up as proliferate, give poison counters, or the most insane removal, Phyresis Outbreak. So I love things that are doubling up, right? Poison theme and then proliferate theme. So on theme removal is very good, but we have generically good removal because they're very hyper efficient. They do what they do the best way they can do it. Swords, Assassin's Trophy, Anguish on Making, Toxic Deluge, then Farewell. Farewell just gets you out of all your crazy conundrums because it does the exiling clause. I actually forgot some removal. Vraska, which we've seen before. I didn't read the second clause. I was so excited about proliferating, but you can -2 and turn something into a treasure. A creature into a treasure. It loses all abilities. So it just turns into a plain treasure. Yawgmoth. Yawgmoth can do everything. That's why it's such a good card. Pay 1 life, secondary creature. Put a -1/-1 counter on up to 1 target creature. Then you can draw a card. Then you can proliferate with that too. So you can start slowly removing with proliferate, or just keep stacking your creatures to put -1/-1 counters on things. So 2 good removal we've seen again. Very on theme, on brand. Next we have the card draw section. I love when things intersect. We have these card draw spells which we've seen before. Norn's Decree, Glyph Hatchery, Contaminate, Grafter, Infect's Inquiry. Then we have other standard card draw. You know, sometimes we like to play powerful spells, mix and match a little bit. Esper Sentinel can play it early. Knight's Whisper, Sign Blood can draw cards really quickly, very cheap and on theme. I know Black Market Connection or might be better, but Phyrexian Arena, come on, it's on theme, right? It's from the set. Sometimes you just want to play things on theme. Rounding out the deck, we have some utility cards. Here we have some Graveyard Hate, Soul Guide Lantern, Scavenging Ooze. It does plus one counters, so it's really on theme here. Battlegate Recovery. I always put an Evergreen deck because I think the modal double face cardness of it is very good. And it can get any card, not just permanent, so it's also in the deck right there. Then we have some protection. These 3 cards. Lightning Greaves and Whisper Silk Cloak give your creature a Shroud. This gives it haste, and this makes it unblockable, so it can help Ixhel get through. Flawless Maneuver, a way to protect your team for free if you have Ixhel on the board. I also forgot to mention that another source of card advantage is Ixhel itself, but of course, from the beginning, I probably mentioned it already, so this is a very good source of card advantage. If you get 3 players corrupted, that's draw 3 each turn, as long as your commander's on the battlefield. For your ramp package, it's an interesting piece of ramp for our commander that actually suits this commander really well. We have the Expanded Spheres, which we saw earlier. That's our 4-mana ramp that can proliferate. We have the 2-mana ramp, so because our commander's a 4-mana value commander, getting this on the board is fast is really good. Then we have our Proliferate Infect related ramp. Glistening Sphere, which we mentioned earlier, very good in a toxic deck. Then we have our Astral Cornucopia Everflowing Chalice. This is for our Proliferate theme. Multi-kicker, for every 2 mana, you get a counter, not a charge counter, not a +1/+1 counter. And get 1 colorless for each charge counter. You can proliferate it up. Very good. This costs 3 mana for every charge counter, but it makes 1 mana of any color. You proliferate it up. Soul Ring, Smothering Tithe. The initial part of our land package is pretty straightforward. We have these 3-color lands here. The Triome, Path of Ancestry, remember, Phyrexian Angel. A lot of our creatures are actually Phyrexian. So even the infecting creatures from Scars of Mirrodin or Mirrodin Besiege are infecting or Phyrexians, I mean. Even though it doesn't say it, they are Phyrexian. So it's very good Path of Ancestry. We have the Shock lands. We have the Battle Bond lands. Some utility lands. This deck is mainly green-black because of the infect creatures. Boseiju. Then you have Yavimaya, Urborg, Bojuka Bog for more Graveyard Hate. Here's where the land package gets interesting. These are the good lands. Karn's Bastion, as we mentioned, proliferates. Then we have these 2 right here, Access Tunnel and Rogue's Passage. The things that make things unblockable. Target creature with power 3 or less can't be blocked. We have small, little infecting creatures, or I should say toxic creatures. So Rogue's Passage, Access Tunnel. We have Shizo, Death's Storehouse. Target legendary creature gains fear until end of turn. I'll give our little Ixhel fear. Get into the red zone. Remember, it's a legendary creature, so it's mainly for our commander. They have Vault of Archangel. This one, grants your creatures Death Touch and Lifelink. Death Touch makes people really don't want to block because they just die to our little mites. So it's cool there. Vesuvius Thespian Stage can copy any of these lands. Well, don't copy a legendary land. It's not a very good idea. Copying lands there, I love that. Then we have our other Phyrexianized basic lands here. These are pretty cool, don't they? Right there. All right, so that is our Ixhel deck. So what we're going to do, like we always do, we're going to shuffle this deck up, do a little gold fishing. But before we do gold fishing, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be alerted for new videos in the future. I have the deck list in the description below. Don't forget to have all these cool tokens. That is right. So we're going to shuffle this deck up, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back. Turn 1. Ixhel, Scion of Atraxa, Poison, Toxic deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So our goal is, I think our goal is to play Ixhel as quick as possible. Maybe some other poison creatures that are very, low mana value, and get them poisoned so we can take advantage of Ixhel's additional corrupted text. And for that, we have a little guest deck, the myth herself, Atraxa, Praetor's Voice. I have multiple Atraxas right there. My altered one, which I use for the Journey of Bling. My new Capenna one. I can't believe they're making another new Capenna one after they did a secret layer. But that's how they get you. All right, we'll put that aside until when we need it. But let's start. Oops, cards are upside down. We have some lands, mana rocks, and our big Tyrannus Rex. So you're saying this mana rock kind of sucks. You pay 3 tap, 3 ETB tap, proliferate, add 1 mana of any color. But guess what? Look at this. Overflowing Chalice. This can proliferate onto this and proliferate Infect tokens. So maybe what we could do is play Overflowing Chalice, get Ixhel down the battlefield turn 3, attack turn 4, and proliferate right to Corrupted Land. All right, so let's do that. It's cool. We got Urborg, Scion Blood, double black, but black right there. So our mana base is pretty darn good. Lots of mana rock, and then we have the big Tyrannus Rex. Triple green, which we only have 1, 2 green of. But if you get anybody corrupted, you add 3 green. So that works right there. Draw a card. Infectious Inquiry, 2 and a black. Draw 2 cards, get poison counter, so that's pretty neat. Card draws, we got card draw is good to go. We'll play our Bountiful Promenade, turn 2. We'll draw a card, Command Tower. That's sweet. That helps us with our green count. We'll play this. We'll multi-kick our Everflowing Chalice for 1. It's pretty simple, right? So we have black or green, white, black, white or black. We have the colors for Ixhel, so let's go on. Draw a card, turn 3. Nature's Lore. Oh man, if we got that last turn. But that's okay, Because we got it last turn, we could multi-kick this one. But, sometimes cards don't come in the right order. So we'll play our Urborg. Right there, we'll tap this. We'll play our Commander. Ixhel, Scion of Atraxa. Turn 3, as intended. Then we'll pass the turn 4. Right there, we'll draw a card. 1 card per turn. Ooh, Drown Ichor. Proliferate. I love that. All right, let's do the thing the deck wants to do, right? We will play our land. Right here, we will attack with Ixhel. Let's pretend this is our opponent right there. 1 opponent. We'll attack. Then the opponent that can't block, give him 2 poison. Right here. Then what we want to do is play our Glistening Sphere and have 2 colorless left over. So we could do this. This is pretty neat here. We'll just tap this 3. Play our Glistening Sphere into play tapped. Right there, when ETBs, proliferate. 1, and then another 3 poison counter. That opponent's now corrupted right away. Read this. 1 ETBs proliferate. Very strong, insanely strong. Then tap, add 1 mana of any 1 color. Activate only if your opponent has 3 or more poison counters. Which next turn, we're going to add that 3 mana because I have a corrupted opponent already. So, super fun mana rock. Then what we have is we have 3 mana left over. We could Nature's Lord. Anything. I think we should have just tapped correctly. Let's pretend we tapped correctly here. I think Nature's Luring is more important because we want to than drawing cards because we want to get more mana. All right, so let's just Nature's Lore to get our dual land, Murmuring Boss, our tri-land actually. Let's find our tri-land and Delta Triome right there. And then we have an untapped mana if we wanted to, and a floating mana with the green, but we can't really do anything with that. Actually, we could, so we could drown Ichor. So let's get an untapped land. Let's get an Overgrown Tomb. See, we just even after I've Nature's Lore so many times, and after so many Nature's Lore, sometimes I always get it wrong because the land can come in to play untapped. Right there, it has to be a forest. So we get an Overgrown Tomb or a Temple Garden is the best because we have Urborg. We pay 2 life. We have this 1 floating right there. So this does all 3 mana because we have Urborg. Shuffle this in a bit. We have this 1 floating mana from our Nature's Lore, and then bam, we could just drown an Ichor. Like boom. Use that floating mana. Target creature gets -4/-4, and then proliferate again, which is great. Give this person a poison counter, or we say proliferating till later, but proliferating now. And then at end of turn, our turn is yet to end. We activate or Ixhel's ability triggers. So beginning of your end step, each opponent who has 3 or more poison counters. That is our Atraxa friend now. Exile their top card of the library face down. You may look at it and play those cards as long as they remain exile. Use mana of any color. So what we're going to do is use our Atraxa deck here. Let me This is our Atraxa right there. This is our Atraxa deck. Let's see what card we get. Boom. Winstar Thief. Not that bad. Okay, we'll keep that right there. Put our Atraxa back over in the corner here. We do have a land drop for next turn. And the important part is if you read carefully, it says you may look at and play those cards, even lands. So those are our lands that we will play. This is a land that we can play next turn. It's end of turn, can't play it yet. So our turn 4 is very, very good. The Proliferating, the Glistening Sphere, the Everflowing Chalice, excellent turn. Turn 5. All right. We will untap. And then I just forgot to shuffle my deck, but we're going to shuffle our deck. We'll cut the deck randomly here. Turn 5. We have tons of mana. This is amazing. All right. Access Tunnel land. So we can play our land from Atraxa, which I think we'll save because it's the surprise factor. They might think it's like a really cool spell. So we'll just play our Access Tunnel, which is also a swamp. All right. Let's see what we want. We can play a big boy, Tyranny Rex, right there. We'll tap 3. And then we'll tap this. And then we'll just tap our Lowly Plains to play our 7 mana Dinosaur. Can't be counter, trample, ward 4 haste, toxic 4. We still have cards in our hand too. Of course, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana left. So we can play Infectious Inquiry. We can play both. Let's just play Infectious Inquiry first. Let's tap our lands like this. All right, we'll play this card. Each opponent now gets a poison counter, so let's just pretend these are our other opponents. Boom. Boom. 5 poison counters. Halfway dead already. Remember that. Then we'll draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. We got land. We play our land drop, Scavenging Ooze. We can sign blood to draw more cards. Let's say we bash one of these persons here, right there, this person. They're just, twiddling their thumbs, no blockers. And then we bash another person right there, the other person. Right there, put them up to 3 poison here. This one, let's say take all 4 damage, or 8 damage, but toxic 4, 5 poison. Right there, so now you have triple corrupted, which is awesome. We'll just cast our Scion Blood to be efficient. We could cast our Scavenging Ooze here, but that's not the game we want to play. We want to just keep signing in blood, draw more cards, do more fun stuff. Vault of Archangel, Lightning Greaves. All right, so that's our hand. It's juiced up. End of turn. Go back to our Atraxa deck. Let's pretend they're all Atraxas here. Oh, Rhystic Study. That's sweet. Karn's Bastion. That's pretty sweet. So everybody's corrupted. Fairy's Protection. All right, that's super sweet. This is turn 5. We have some dudes almost dead. Heck, we even have a Proliferating land. Helps us out right there. Okay. So we'll just untap here. Turn 6. We'll take a couple more turns. We're having fun here. Why not have more fun? Right, so we'll get our hand right here. Oops. There. Remember, we have Access Tunnel to make Ixhel unblockable if we need to. We'll draw a card, Flawless Maneuver, even better. Makes things super hard to kill. We have all this mana. Where's all this card draw we need? I mean, this is card draw. So we do have Rhystic Study right here. We play Rhystic Study right there. I think we'll just play Scavenging Ooze here. We'll play with this guy right here and eat something right away. With Scavenging Ooze, get +1/+1 counter. Okay, so we're doing that. We'll play Rhystic Study. We'll tap this right there for all our blue for Rhystic Study. Here, did we play land? I don't think we did play land. Let's play Vault of Archangel. We got tons of mana. Just give things Death Touch just in case they want to try to mess with us. We'll Lightning Greaves here. Tap this guy. And tap this. Access Tunnel. Lightning Greaves. We could move this over to our commander here. This is super fun. Now we have double layer protection. We have Fairy's Protection in this pile right here. In my pile right here. And then we also have Flawless Maneuver. So we're good to go. We can get into the red zone. Bam 2. Bam 4. We can just give this person 4. This person goes all the way to 7. This person gets 2. You can see they're very close to death. Now I get Proliferating action here. Or could, if anybody blocks our big Rex, we can just kill it. Or our commander, we can just kill it here. It's really good. Or make our commander indestructible. so people can't kill it. So that's also very good. Let's see at the end of turn. We got Risk Study. Anybody cast anything? They got play Risk Study attacks. This is insane if you could draw those in your opening hand like we did. That was a coincidence. And in turn, we triple corrupted again. More things here. So we're bound to draw some lands. Fathom Mage, Ixhel. So all cool cards. Yeah, so this deck goes really ham once it draws the right set of cards. Unfortunately, we did run out of gas a little bit. We use all our card draw spells. We do have gas in our opponent's cards, which is really good. Like, we technically have virtual 6 cards. We have these lands that we could play. Actually, we should play Karn's Bastion instead of our Archangel right there. Let's pretend we did that. Put that back in your hand. Another takes backseat. Then you can proliferate here. Boom, boom, up to 8 poison. So close to dead. 7 poison, 6 poison. So, of course, they're going to attack you. You are the arch enemy. So this is just gold fishing. So remember that. But this is really cool. I love these 2 mana rocks together. I love proliferating on Inflowing Chalice. I also have that in my Atraxa deck. It's very excellent and good. Anyways, if you enjoy this deck, don't give the video a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit notification bell to be alerted for new videos in the future. And as always, the deck list is in the description below. Then, have a wonderful day.